Hello, everyone, and welcome to QB Talks. What's new in QBO in 2022 at Future Forward 2022, brought to you by Insightful Accountant. Insightful Accountant is an online news and information source for technology insights and practice innovation. My name is Emily Hedrick, and I'm the Media Director for IA. If you have any questions during the session, please enter them in the Q&A box, and we'll try to address them at the end. Everyone that has registered will receive a follow-up email with the recording and presentation. Today's session is 50 minutes long and awards 1 CPE credit. To receive CPE credit, you must be registered for the class, logged in for the entirety of the training, and engage with the polling questions. The CPE certificate and any presentation handouts will be delivered as soon as possible to the email address you used to register for this event. Our learning objectives for today are to differentiate the multiple new features coming to QBO in 2022, identify the additional enhancements to the QuickBooks ecosystem and understand their implications on your firm, and prepare your firm for any changes in workflow, onboarding, or general accounting work that may be coming with QBO 2022. This session is presented by Canopy. Canopy's full suite practice management software is the ultimate tool for accountants to organize data, consolidate systems, and communicate with clients. Whether you're a firm of 5 accountants or 50, Canopy's practice management tools are essential for any firm looking to modernize their business. And with that, I'll go ahead and launch the first polling question, which is just, would you like to hear more from Canopy? And I will, while that's happening, I'll also introduce our speaker for today, Liz Scott. Liz Scott is an advanced certified QuickBooks advisor and CEO of the Oklahoma City-based firm Accounting Lifeline, which specializes in QuickBooks training, setup, support, and integration services for small businesses. Liz is a member of the Intuit Trainer Writer Network and writes course curriculum for the accounting community. She is the co-host of the Appy Hour and serves as Insightful Accountant's contributing QuickBooks Online editor. Liz presents numerous live and webinar trainings across the US and abroad, and we're lucky to have her here with us today. So Liz, when you're ready, you can get started, and I'm going to go ahead and close down that poll.
Thank you, Emily, for that introduction. And I am glad that so many of you are here today. I was checking over in our chat to see who all was here, and many of you are friends. So hello. And then those of you who are not friends yet, I want to welcome you and to tell you that one of my main focuses is to share what I've learned about QuickBooks and the ecosystem, and then tips and tricks along the way. So we're all practitioners. Our whole goal is to be able to help these small businesses. Some of you even might work with mid-sized businesses, but we're all using QuickBooks. And so how do we best approach it? And like Emily said, what's ahead? What's coming in this new year? So some of the stuff I'm going to show you today is live. Some of it is not yet live. And so to begin this journey, I'm actually going to start it in what may feel like a strange place, which is going to be talking about this trend towards QuickBooks Online Advanced. So where I want to begin this conversation is that there has been this trend from QuickBooks Enterprise over into QuickBooks Online Advanced. And I've really noticed it since the pandemic. Whenever there was a lot of my clients that were in Enterprise, they've reached out to me and they've said, okay, we see our buddies and they're moving over into QuickBooks Online. How do we move our Enterprise solution over into an environment where we can all work virtually? And what has happened is that wave has started to catch on. So even though I have some clients that, they're back in the offices, they decided that they were going to be able to do even some hybrid approach where they've invested in this equipment to be virtual and be online, they still want to be able to sometimes be in the office. But now they've got this need to, how do they get their QuickBooks inside of a location that is easily available to everyone? So one of the things that you may see, or just to be aware that this is now available, is people who are using QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Enterprise, there is this option if they don't want to move over into the QuickBooks Online Advanced, which is almost not quite the equivalent to Enterprise. I have some clients that you may too are in Enterprise that just aren't quite a online fit yet. So what do you do for these people? There is actually now this bundle that you can get. If you've got these enterprise people and you're wanting to get them into this hosted environment, you can actually buy this bundled approach, which is the QuickBooks Desktop Enterprise that's in the cloud. And so many of you know that there was this partnership, the recommended services from Right Networks to say that they were the chosen provider. There is now a new partnership that is on the back end that we're just not even seeing, that you just buy the hosting, it's included in the price. You never really see all of the other pieces. So just so that way you're aware that yes, QuickBooks Online Advanced is a good alternative for those people who are in QuickBooks Enterprise and they want to move over into QuickBooks Online. Advanced does work. But for those who are just interested in staying where they are, they're in Enterprise and by golly, they've learned that and they don't want to teach everybody else a new trick, then what you can do is just host that. So I knew that that'd be a funny place to start, but here's the reason that I wanted to start there. And it is because what you have right now is a lot of people who are seeing all of these new features and improvements that are being rolled out to QuickBooks Online Advanced. And so I want to address that. And I want to say, you are right. There are tons of updates in QuickBooks Online Advanced. And one of those updates is this desktop app that I'm going to talk about. And this is great and ideal for people who are transitioning over from desktop. And that can be just your basic Pro or Premier edition, or it could be the Enterprise. So this way it's going to feel a lot like what they're used to. But, you know, I have clients that wanted to convert from Enterprise over into QuickBooks Online, and Advanced has got the most robust features in it. We've got some custom fields. We've got more ability with users. We've got more custom users. So if you've got people who are in that enterprise level and you're trying to figure out where to put them, I just want you to know that Advanced keeps on getting more and more bells and whistles. And you know, this might be the perfect place to put them because it is so easy that if you look at the hosting price versus QuickBooks Online Advanced, you know, whenever you're talking about those enterprise level clients, a lot of times it's not a big deal for them to pay this advanced price. Where I don't know that Advanced is a great fit is if you've got somebody who, you know, they're just trying to have a couple of extra things. Maybe they want reports, maybe they need something additional. Sometimes you can just stay in QuickBooks Online Plus. That would be a great fit for them, but you might need to add on a solution. So, you know, I think that my call out here is to be aware that Advanced is getting some additional updates. The things I'm going to be showing you are a hybrid. Some of it's in Advanced, some of it's not. But I see a couple of messages over in chat. So Joanne's saying, hey, Canada needs QuickBooks Online Advanced. You know, there's a lot of features here that are additional. So I get it. Like this is, I don't know when that projected date is, but I would imagine that that's definitely on the roadmap, is to be able to make sure that those of you who are in Canada also have it. Ooh, I see a question here from Mike. Hey, so the question here is what happened to the app? So I'm going to show you, you are correct that one of the things that you are aware of and that I also see Lewis is talking about too, is that yes, the QuickBooks desktop app for QuickBooks Online, that went away for a little while. Those of you who had already downloaded the QuickBooks Online desktop app, make sure I say that right, Those of you who already have it know that it's still there. Those of you who didn't download it yet, I want to tell you that now it's the advanced option. So we'll look to see what that looks like. One of the reasons why I'm calling that out is that these people who are converting over into QuickBooks Online, they're really used to the way that QuickBooks looks for them. So you're going to see that there's this new view, which feels very, very much like QuickBooks Desktop. So I saw the message, hey, how do you download it? Well, so you're going to go over inside of your gear icon. So we know that the gear icon is everything non-transactional based. And you can go over there and you're going to see under your company that there's an option to download that desktop app. One of the benefits of downloading it is that you don't have the cache and cookies, and there's not going to be a slowdown of some of the features. You're going to see it on the desktop browser, which actually does move faster, your desktop location using that app. The other thing is that you're going to stay logged in. So those of your clients who are saying, hey, I'm frustrated with needing to log in all of the time and maybe even the two-factor authentication, this would be a way for them to not have to deal with that. So once you have the app, the next thing that you get to decide is, what do you want to do? Do you want to look at QuickBooks Online view? And so you say, hey, I'm familiar with that view. I want to stay in that view. Or you can actually choose to have the desktop view. And I'm going to show you what the desktop view looks like. And you can always toggle between the two. So if you decide I want to see the desktop view, then what you're going to have is this view that looks like centers on the work on your home dashboard. So vendors, customers, employees here. And then you can see a lot of this layout is very familiar. It's kind of got that workflow layout that we see in desktop. And then, just like desktop, any of these areas that you click on is going to pop up that screen. So it's a hyperlink here too. So if you clicked on create invoices, boom, up pops that invoice screen, and you're going to see that option. Another thing that's actually really cool about this feature is that you've got the option here to be able to say on the navigation bar, you can say open a new window or open a new tab right on your navigation bar whenever you're clicking on those various centers. The other thing that you're going to be able to see is that if you did want to toggle between companies, you can actually do that inside of this QuickBooks Online Advanced Desktop app. So you can go over into that left or right side of your top screen, and you could actually pick a different company. And this is for your clients, this is for you, whoever that user is. And you can have both companies open at the same time, and they're not going to interfere with each other. So that's a big perk for those who are interested in using this QuickBooks Online Advanced Desktop app. It's going to have some of those extra features. And I'm seeing that this isn't ready for prime time. I'm going to show you where you can actually download it. It's live. So if you've got a client that I know for sure, if you activate a new subscription, you're going to see this. So William, it is available, but I don't know if maybe you've got a client who's been using QuickBooks Online Advanced for a while. If it's not rolled out to existing users, maybe it's just available now for the new users. And then I see, yes, how many companies can you have open at a time? I don't know that there is a limit here. Like, I haven't ran into a limit using this, but you can see clearly that we've got 2 different companies open and there's no issue. And you just keep on opening your tabs and work the way that you would normally work. Let me go ahead, and before I launch that poll, Emily, let me take a second to go and look at QuickBooks so I can show you where this is at. So if you're interested in using the desktop app, right here in that gear icon is where you would be able to choose, and be able to get it now, that desktop app that's available. So I have another question here from Len. What if your client only has one advanced file and the rest are plus? Can they use the app? That is a really good question. Again, this is a brand new rollout. So I think that that would be a good test because we know that the app has been rolled out specifically this new version for the advanced users. So if you have some that are both, hopefully you would be able to toggle between the two companies. I think that that's a fair question that, I mean, I'd love for you to try and then give feedback to our community because that's a really good, valid question. And Deborah, you're asking, hey, is this only available for advanced subscribers? Unless you got the desktop app before it went away, then yes, this is the new version. And yes, it's available to these advanced users. At least that's what's being promoted. Now, sometimes there's a little bit of a crossover period, so you may be able to see it available in your QuickBooks Online Plus subscriptions, but I don't think so. Like, I think that this option right here isn't available. So I'm going to go ahead and say, Emily, can we launch that poll and get that up? So the question is have you or your clients converted from Enterprise to QuickBooks Online? And that could be any online version or the advanced. I'm just curious if you're seeing this trend as well, because we can look at the Intuit financials. And if you've never looked at those, gosh, they're fascinating. So you can actually go and look at it because it's a public company and you can see what are the financial trends. How much is each product line? What's that income stream and revenue? And you can see over the years that transition, how it has changed. I would say prior to 2020, we had a big trend of, even though QuickBooks Online was the big push, we still had a ton of people who were buying desktop. Since the pandemic, there has been a shift. And I think that that's interesting. And I don't know that that shift is going to go away because I'm getting more and more calls because we do conversions. We're getting more and more calls from people who are wanting to switch from Enterprise to online. So I'm just curious. I'm going to go ahead and count that poll down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you. So most of you are saying, hey, not yet. But then some of you are saying, yes, that you are seeing that. So I just think that's kind of an interesting question if you're also seeing that trend. This is also a QuickBooks Online Advanced feature, and it's geared around the receipts piece inside of bank feeds. So in the banking center, if you wanted to be able to track receipts for employees, that's been a little difficult before. Now we have an option that is available and it's pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and take you live over into the product so you can see it and know how to use it. So I'm inside of QuickBooks Online Advanced right now, and this is just a demo company file, so we don't have a whole lot of data here. And if I go over into my banking center and then I choose receipts, here I've got a new option inside of my receipts window where it's going to say, and you've got a little video that you could watch too. It's got this new option right here that says expense management settings. And if I click on that, again, I've got that little video that I can watch, but I've got two different options. The first thing that you need to do if you want to utilize this is you've got to be able to set up the employees. So if you click on employees, what it's going to ask you is to add your first employee. And if you come over here, then you would be able to say, hey, what is it that you want that employee to be able to do? Because this is a demo file, I don't have any here. I would just go ahead and I would put in that name. I would over here say employee or vendor. And so this is nice to know that you can, but there are some limitations if you're using vendor, but let's just go ahead and say employee so we have the full features. And right there, you can see that disclaimer if it was an employee. And then you could put in name, so name, last, and then the email address is how they're going to receive this invite. So we'll put that in. And then next, what we'll have is this invite that's sent to them. And from this invite, we could say we want to keep on adding, or we can just say dismiss. Let's go back over into our receipt section. Now we've invited one of our users to be able to upload. Now this is the thing that's different. This is the kind of the new piece of this. So now you get to say, what is it that you want them to be able to upload to? So if you come over here and you're like, hey, it was travel, then you could actually give it a travel nickname, and you could say, maybe they were like me, they went to the conference and you wanted them to be able to upload directly into that account. So you wanted to give it a nickname. Boom, you add it. And so that category is your chart of accounts. You could keep adding them here. You could say you had meals with clients. And so you could say, sometimes people call this customer in investments, or various different things that you could call this right here. So, or you can just say, I don't have a nickname, or client meals. And then now we can go back, and this is what the employee is going to see when they go to upload a receipt. So let me go back over into the PowerPoint so we can see it from the employee's point of view. Ooh, hey, so Mike just gave us an update, and he said just now, while he was in the webinar, he went ahead and downloaded the app, and he's able to toggle between his QuickBooks Online Advanced and his Plus users, Plus subscriptions. So he can do both. That's really, really cool. Okay, so here's that disclaimer. So anybody who wants to be able to refer to these slides later, I just threw this in here for you. There's that invite that's sent, there's their categorization. And here's the piece that I wanted you to see from the employee point of view. So the employee, we're going to see this as the mobile app is what they would be using, and they can decide to either enter in that expense manually, or they can do the receipt capture, which I highly recommend. So they take a picture, they would put in there the dollar amount. And again, that's where that category comes in handy, because they would be able to select it right there from the drop down. And then if they added that note, they would have that for whoever is then approving this expense. They would be able to take that and say, okay, yeah, now I get why you did that. You spent an extra, $50 on lunch, but you were taking out XYZ. And then that note then gets submitted with that receipt for review. With the review piece of it, this is where you can say, okay, you submit it, and they could continue to upload their receipts. But once they're finished, what happens is an email is sent off. So this is going to then be from the management side. So you're going to get an email that, hey, there is a new receipt to go and approve. You could go that way, and you could go through the email. It would then open it up and to be able to see the receipt area. The other thing that I'm going to say that's just the most common is what you will do is from the bank feeds, while you're working through it, you're going to see those 4 reviews. So it's an extra feature to get that email. Maybe that's nice because you have somebody who's on top of it. Otherwise, I just say add it to your normal workflow when you're going through bank feeds. That's just one of the things that you go and do. So that's a way to avoid an extra step, because if you're going to be using some of these features, for me, the whole reason to take advantage of these is to save time. So I'm just going to keep it in my normal workflow. And how did you do that? Okay, so there's a question about where did I currently go to do the access to the receipts area. Okay, so say that I've uploaded a receipt. I'm in the banking center right now. And from the banking center, you're used to seeing the bank feeds here. And I've got my bank feeds that need to be accepted, but I'm going over to receipts. And from right here, if I had receipts to review, they would be down here. If I had receipts that were already reviewed, they would be in this section too. So from the email or from this screen. All right, so I'm going to click back over to our slides, and I'm going to say, there's another new feature. And guess what, guys? This is not just for advanced users. This is for everybody. So woohoo. With this feature, the thing that you're able to do is, instead of going over and categorizing your receipt and adding it, what this is now saying is, we know that there's OCR ability on those uploaded receipts. So what we were looking at is an employee who is categorizing and adding a note to the receipt themselves. But if you just wanted to take a picture of a receipt, upload it to that receipt section without doing anything additional, QuickBooks is actually going to do the OCR scanning of that receipt, and it's going to do a pretty good job of pulling out the vendor name, pulling out the dollar amount, pulling out the date. And then, just like with, the artificial intelligence machine learning, what you're going to have there is, it's going to get smarter and smarter. So Office Depot is going to then be categorized as office expense, or that's the suggestion. But instead of going through and categorizing each receipt, what you can do instead is, while you're working through bank feeds, this new piece of it is going to say, hey, we have a transaction for $2.05 is our example right here. And then what QuickBooks is going to tell you is, there was an uploaded scanned receipt for $2.05. It's going to suggest a match, which means just start uploading those receipts. If you haven't used this feature, I would definitely say go ahead and start doing it for yourself first. It's actually pretty slick. I have found it to be pretty smart and spot on. And then I don't have to, I'm one of those, I don't keep my paper copies. I know there's different feelings about that, but I'm the worst about keeping the paper copies. So you do whatever you feel is best in that area. But I scan them and I consider it done, because that's my capturing of it. Because you can always download the receipts later if you needed to have those for an audit purpose. Okay, I see Tim has got a question. I'm going to answer that question, but while I'm doing that, Emily, can we launch that poll? We want to make sure that everybody here who is needing those CPE credits are getting that opportunity. So here is that poll launch, and then I'm going to go over into chat questions. And while you're looking at that question, I'm going to look at what was sent over. So Tim is saying that you can pull one company tab to another screen. Are you able to do that? So the answer is Michelle said, no, you can't pull it back and forth, but you can definitely have as many tabs open as you want to. But it does, it's not the browser version, so it's going to work a little bit different. But I love that you're playing around with it and then sharing. Yeah, and so yes, you were talking about the app, right? So yes. And then with, let's see, go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and count down this poll. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you. At 50-50. There's a pretty good group of both that yes are using that area. I think for me, one of the reasons why I was using it and I kind of navigated away from it is I felt like it was extra steps. Well, if you haven't used it in a while, I would say go try it again, because it's definitely, just like anything else, getting better and better. And so I find it now, it's much easier to use and much more intuitive. And the OCR ability is pretty good. Okay, so this is one that caught me off guard, y'all. I did not expect this brand new navigation inside of QuickBooks Online. So I want to share this navigation with you, because for me, what had happened is I was in a live training with a client, and when they showed me their QuickBooks Online screen, I was like, surely you've done something wrong. What subscription are you in? Did you sign up for the wrong one? Because it was a brand new client to me who wasn't sure how to use QuickBooks. So I had to go through and I went to the gear icon. I looked at the subscription level and I was like, no, you're in Plus. So why do you have less options over on your navigation bar? And it took me a minute to kind of figure out what had happened. But I want to share that experience with you so you too can see what it is that I was seeing. So We are in QuickBooks Online Advanced. I will show you quickly what it looks like if we switched over to business view here for those of you who are interested in the advanced look. This is, again, for brand new subscriptions. If you've got a client who is in a prior subscription, you're not going to see the same experience. But over here, if I go to my main page, you can see I have different options on the side. Okay, I'm going to flip over into not an advanced file so you can see what it looks like from a different point of view. And I'm going to switch companies really quick so you can see just a normal QuickBooks Online file, what that looks like. So here we go, it's launching. Well, I say that. Let's see, did it go? Did it go? Nothing like life. Okay, here we are. So this is just a normal plus subscription, nothing fancy here. But what I do want to point out is this is the business view navigation. So if you're helping clients like I was, and you got surprised by this, I just kind of want to point it out so that way you know that it's here for new clients. And if you look at the roadmap, this is going to be rolled out to all subscriptions. So just like everything new, it goes in waves and it's rolled out into different hosting environments and platforms first, and then it's evaluated and then rolled out to the next group. So you can see right here, we have a new area. So get things done, that's going to send you over into your home dashboard. And then down here, this workspace that we were talking about, that looks very much like the desktop view. This is going to be the new homepage for those people if they've chosen the business view. Here's the call out that I want to just, make sure that everybody's aware of. So what I just chose was the business overview. And what I have here is completely different than the centers that we're used to. So now on this business overview, this is what we're used to seeing with our normal dashboard. So our home screen used to look like this. You can see it's doing some updates right now. I'm not doing anything. It's just kind of going through some of its motions. I have cash flow. Here's where I'm going to have my reports. So our normal report center that's down here lower on our navigation bar has been moved. So that's an interesting call out. The other thing is projects. Projects are in a different location now. So instead of being in a sales center, we don't have a sales center anymore, y'all. It's gone. So sales center is gone. Now we have this business overview and projects is included in that. Banking is going to look a little different too. So this is the new QuickBooks Cash bank account. There was several people that for a while were asking, how do we sign up for this? And it was only being rolled out to select people. Now this is the way for anybody who wants to be able to do that. I don't know how many of you have got clients that are using the QuickBooks Cash bank accounts. We keep kind of finding some quirks with it. So we, if things are paid out of the envelopes, because you can earmark dollars using the QuickBooks Cash account, that's pretty cool. But there's tricks to it whenever you're using it with payroll. So some of it's going to be coming out of the envelope, some of it's going to be just straight from the bookkeeping. So it's kind of a learning experience, and support. I don't know is fully aware of all of these changes. I kind of have had a hard time with some of the support whenever I call regarding QuickBooks Cash. But some of the cool things here is whenever we go to reconcile one of these QuickBooks Cash bank accounts, the statement is downloaded automatically. So inside of that reconcile screen, the bank statement's there, that's pretty handy. The business credit score, I really, really like that this exists. So whenever I'm thinking about businesses that maybe have been hard hit during the pandemic, this is great for them to be able to know where is their business ranked. And so that's going to be off of that credit rating for the business. And then capital. So this is going to be, if they want to do any lending, and then the PPP center. Okay, this is one of the things that's different. So get paid and pay. So our vendor center and our sales center are now combined. So these two have been merged. So what I was doing is I was, helping my client with going over and adding new customers, adding new vendors. And that was just one of those things I kind of had to figure out and navigate around. So everything's here. It just looks slightly different. If you notice down here where it says vendors, there's not an expense option. I don't know, maybe people just really weren't using this. And so in this version, it goes away. You do have your product links. You've got your normal stuff that we know that we would expect to see in our sales center. It's all here. But look, there's time. So it's interesting that time lives over here in the get paid and pay. So I just kind of want to call that out. You've got time that lives right here. So time overview, time entries. So how it works, getting it connected, that's all inside of the get paid and pay center. Commerce, if you've got people who are using the commerce option, it's inside there. Payroll looks a little different, but really everything's here. So you can see time again, your employees. Bookkeeping. So inside of our bookkeeping, this is where bank feeds lives now. So you would maybe expect to see it in the banking, but it's not. It's in the bookkeeping. So it's named transactions. We have all of the things that we were looking at before. Oh, look, hey, there's our expenses. Okay, I hadn't seen that before. Chart of accounts, tags, reconciliation. So that's over in bookkeeping. Taxes, exactly what you're going to expect. Sales tax, and then if there was payroll tax, you'd see it there too. And then we've got our 1099 filing. And then here's apps. So apps that you wanted to connect or whatnot. I'm going to flip back over to our slides for a second, and I'm going to then have a just kind of tell you that, going through these slides, you're going to see everything here is included in this deck. So you can see all of those things that I went through. So one of the things that QuickBooks has asked is they've asked for feedback on this new feature. And I know that some of you may have already seen this, some of you may have not seen it. So this is kind of maybe a new thing, but the feedback that they're looking for is, do you believe that your clients will benefit from this new view? And if Emily, if you can launch that poll, that would be really helpful. And then I've got a lot of comments over here in chat. So while you're reading that poll, I'm going to look at some of these comments. James is saying, hey, where did POs go? That's, that's a demo company file, and I didn't turn on that feature. So if you turned it on, where would it go is a really good question. I would imagine that it would go over into the vendors area, but maybe that's going to go over into that. Maybe it's going to go over into that expense area. I'm not sure. I think that would be a great thing to go and test, James. Yes, it's recorded. My clients still show the old flow. So the comment back to that is, it's just being rolled out. So eventually everybody's going to see this new view. And then Alicia's saying, hey, with the QB statements, will you be able to download? And the check images, I don't have any clients that are actually using checks for their QuickBooks Cash bank account. What they're doing instead is they're using the debit card or all ACH. So I don't know about the check images. I haven't seen check images. But as far as payroll, I'm able to see all of that because I do have clients that are using the envelopes for payroll and paying out of it. Let's see. So you could see, so Lynn is just saying, hey, being able to see on behalf of the QuickBooks files, you're just talking about the different views. One thing to know is if you've got a client that says, hey, this is not what I want to see, or you don't want to see that while you're working with them, you can actually flip back over to the accountant view and it will change the view and that navigation bar back to the thing that we're very, very familiar with. So I'm going to go ahead and count us down. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And thank you. That ended that poll. And then I'm going to go ahead and go over to our next area, which I can't believe it, y'all. This is crazy, but we are we are now at year end. Tomorrow starts the last month of the year, which feels strange. I think that 2021 has been a year that's gone by super fast for us. So 1099s, we have started going through and looking at our vendors and sending lists over to our clients and asking them, did we get it? These are 1099 vendors or not? Some of you are maybe ahead of me and you've been asking it all year long, and that's like the best option. But we are trying to knock it out before in the next week. So we're wrapping that up with all of our clients right now, so that 1099s go smoother. So inside of QuickBooks Online, maybe you filed 1099 forms last year electronically or printed them off inside of QuickBooks Online, but this is going to be a feature that is available for all clients. This is no matter what subscription level, you're going to be able to access the 1099 area. It doesn't matter if you have payroll or not, you're going to be able to see this section. And yes, they will file to the IRS. Some states you're going to have to file, but you're going to see there's a frequently asked questions if you go over into that 1099 module of QuickBooks. And then if you wanted to order your forms directly from Intuit, let me show you. There are deals happening right now. So if you go ahead and order now from Intuit, you get this early bird discount. So prior to January 16th, you're going to get the early bird discount, 3 forms for $12.99. And then from 4 to 20, the $2.99, and then forms 21 and up are free. So that's really, really cool. After that, it's going to go, it's going to be a little bit higher. There's some kits that also include the envelopes. So those are just things to be aware of. If you wanted to be able to get forms directly from Intuit, that would be compatible with printing from QuickBooks. And especially QuickBooks Online, that format, you want to make sure that you've got forms that match that format. So here's a question that some of you might be asking. If you've got contractors that you have paid through direct deposit because your client has a payroll subscription that's either core, premium, or elite, those contractors are actually included in the price that you paid for that monthly fee for those vendor payments. So there is no charge if you've got clients or you yourself, because for us, we are QuickBooks Online accountants users and we get this section for free. And so payroll for us is included. And we pay our contractors through this direct deposit module that's inside of QuickBooks Online. And so we're going to be able to process those 1099s because it's included in that software. So it's kind of just a nice to know that that's available there. There is no fee for that. So those submittals are included. If you're paying your contractor outside of the direct deposit payroll module, then you're going to be paying normal fees for those 1099s that you process for those contractors. I see a couple of questions here. Tiffany's saying, hey, it's already December 1st. Well, you're a day ahead of us, so we're still able to say happy Thanksgiving right now. That would be so yeah, I mean, the payroll piece, that's kind of cool that it's included. So I agree with you, Michelle, that's a nice piece. Okay, so what if you wanted to get forms? I just went ahead and I included this link. Some of you know that this exists. Some of you are like, hey, cool, free, I like that. So this is US based, but you can order your IRS forms from this link right here that I put in, and you can get your first 1,000 forms for free. So, this can be your 1099 miscellaneous. This can be your 1099 interest. All of those forms, non-employee compensation, all of those forms, you can get 1,000 of those each free. And then you can get 25 each of the instructions and publications. So that's just saying, hey, maybe you wanted to send it to 25 different clients, that's free. And then the other thing that's in here is not just 1099s, but it's also got 941Xs. You can order those forms. The other thing that's available for you to download, I mean, not download, but order for free, is the W-2s and the W-3s. And so all of that is something that if you're getting ready to pay for it, you could actually download or use that link. Everything I think is a download. Use that link to then order, and they'll mail them directly to your home address. There's no postage fee. It's just all included. The question that I know that some of you are going to ask is that compatible with the printout from QuickBooks Online for the W-2s and for the 1099s? We have already ordered some to test that, but I haven't got them in the mail yet to be able to give you that answer. So it says that it takes 10 days. We're just barely shy of that. So we haven't received ours yet. But once I know, I'm going to definitely give you some feedback and tell you whether or not I'm seeing those for free or if not. The other thing that I wanted to make sure and share is not only do you have this option for free, but there's the 1099 prep wizard inside of QuickBooks Online. So if you're somebody who has used that, it's a pretty cool, it's a really pretty cool, easy to use. Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to flip back over because I'm stuck in my accountant view. I really like it. I'm going to be one of those holdouts. But if you were to come over here and you were to say in the traditional view that you wanted to be able to process 1099s, my traditional place to go to is to say vendors, and then from vendors, let's just add one because I can't get it to pop up unless I have one. Right here, prepare 1099s. If you click that, as of November 7th, you can now go in and start mapping your accounts. So all of your 1099 accounts that you want to include, that was locked until November 7th. Now that date has passed, you can go in and you can start using this module. You can start going through and saying, hey, I want to map my different accounts for my different employees. And so that module is available. I actually really like this because we use it to be able to say over to our clients, here's a draft of what's missing. It highlights it. It's going to tell you an address is missing and a EIDL number, or sorry, EIDL, a employee identification number is missing, federal ID number is missing. So it's going to be able to tell you all of that you need to be able to go and grab. And it'll have it highlighted for your clients. So, lots of things that are coming up in this new year, and it's pretty exciting. I'm glad that you were here to join. I think that is the link in chat. So Nancy, that link will be on this download, so you could have it to be able to go out and view later. If there's any questions, I'd love to go ahead and answer those. If you've got any questions about the stuff that we covered today. I think that the feedback that you gave was really, really helpful to be able to say, what do you think about that navigation view? So you're welcome. I really enjoy being able to share content. So Joanne, your thank you is very much appreciated. Well, with that, I don't see any new questions coming over. So Emily, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back over to you.
Okay, great. It looks like one did just come in. It says, on the 1099 e-file service, are the prices applicable for each client, or is Intuit looking at my firm's level overall price for overall pricing?
So it's going to be on a client basis. Great question. Great question. I mean, I feel like that's a great feedback too. Wouldn't that be nice to say, hey, we're doing high volume. We'd really like a nice discount. Now, if you're ordering forms, you could order forms across the board and you could just say with one swoop, I need X amount of forms. One of the things that we will be doing internally in our firm tomorrow is we've been going through and looking at all of the contractor lists and making our best assumptions about how many 1099s that we're going to need for each client. Tomorrow, we're going to tally that. And so we're going to make sure, did we order enough envelopes? Because you can get your forms for free. You could print on white paper. Both of those things are options, but as of right now, I don't know any free options for envelopes. So we're still going to have to tally those and then do an order based on all of our clients. So great question.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Liz, for joining us. And everyone, thank you for attending today. This is QB Talk, so I will send out, we have a new link for 2022 so that you can go ahead and register and be registered for each monthly session. So when we close out of this session, a window will pop up with a survey in it. So please take a few minutes to give us your feedback about this session. I will send the presentation and recording out probably a little bit later today, if not tomorrow. And if you did qualify for CPE, those certificates will be coming as well. So we hope to see you tomorrow for the next 4 sessions of Future Forward. And thank you all so much for joining us. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.